Interruptions. My name is Leslie and I hope you had a lovely start into the new year. I didn't expect the turn of the year to actually deeply change anything. I'm a sucker for glow-ups, reinvention, resetting, New Year resolutions, all of that. But I feel like I've come to realize that change doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen from New Year's Eve to January 1st, which doesn't mean you can't set up goals for yourself and challenge yourself to do the things that you want to do. I personally just feel like the more I was trying to force the ultimate change, the higher my expectations got, and that led to disappointment and me feeling like I always fail. If I've learned one thing in 2020 while being isolated and forced to concern myself with what's going on in here and in here, it's that change doesn't come easy, but it does eventually come. Let's take confidence. For the majority of my lifetime, I felt like I wasn't pretty, smart, or good enough. And I knew that my sense of self was silly, that it was a waste of precious time to care about other people's opinions that much, to limit myself based off of beauty ideals I thought were stupid, to lay in bed and go through uncomfortable conversations I had with people I didn't even like, and the way their perception of me mattered so much more than my own. I knew that all of that shouldn't affect me, but subconsciously, I could not let go of my deficient self-esteem. I remember trying to feel and see my worth for years, and it didn't happen. I kept on thinking that everyone else was better than me, even though I was reflecting on that issue all the time. I was seeking change that just didn't magically happen overnight. But throughout all of these years, I was planting seeds. 2020 was the year that they finally began to sprout. And there it was. Just when I got so frustrated, I thought I'd never be fully and truly accepting of myself, the change happened. Throughout the past year, the conscious thoughts that I've been having for years finally seeped into my unconscious. And now when I look into the mirror, I see a growing, learning, capable woman with a beautiful mind. And I don't stay up at night wondering what some rando in the subway might have thought about my outfit. And I don't want to particularly talk about self-esteem right now. I'm just using this example to show you that you shouldn't give up on your hopes of change. It might take a long time and it might hurt and burn and itch, but you have the power to eventually get where you want to go.
La chambre si noire que mes deux petits yeux n'arrivent pas à croire qu'ils sont heureux.
Let's talk about New Year resolutions. Woo! In December, I knew that I wanted to change something about my life, but I didn't really know how to do that. So instead of coming up with goals for the future, I decided to come up with a new daily routine, one that would hopefully make me feel more satisfied and fulfilled throughout my everyday life. Basically just implementing habits that would make me live my dream life right now, today, instead of thinking that I have to reach a ton of goals until I can live my dream life. I wrote down my New Year resolutions into this lovely book, and then I came up with daily routines that would help me get to those goals. Some of my main goals were to figure out how to create an inspiring, motivating, safe space on social media for other people to grow and feel good about themselves, spreading joy and love, stepping out of my comfort zone, transforming my apartment, seeing the positive sides of COVID, daily movement, giving my body conscious attention, creating more art and trying out different styles, minimizing my screen time, and figuring out how to deal with hate and pressure. Based on these intentions, I created a routine that I was following for the first week of this month, and then I reflected on what felt good about it and what didn't feel as good about it, and made little adjustments here and there. I kept on doing that for the following weeks, and every night I wrote down what I stuck to and what I didn't do. Some days I did the whole routine, other days I only did one of the things that I wanted to do, which is okay because I'm trying to make these routines a lifestyle. I'm not trying to challenge myself for week, and if I fail on Monday, the whole thing is ruined. Life is always changing, so I try not to be too harsh on myself, to forgive myself if I don't stick to my plans, which is so refreshing and new to me, because when I was younger, I would always just challenge myself, and then I'd do a glow up for about 2 weeks, work out every day, eat healthy, try to meditate, and do all of that stuff. And then when I was done, I felt good for about a day and then fell back into my old patterns and routines. And now for the first time ever, I'm not seeing setbacks as failure. They're just part of the process, and I'm having more and more good days. I'm waking up early to enjoy some stones for myself while watching the sunrise. I work out, I do my own yoga flow, meditate, journal, dance, sing. I drink a ton of tea and water, eat food that feels rich and good to eat. I check my phone once in the morning and then turn it off for the rest of the day. I'm listening to music on a very old iPod, or I'm enjoying old records from my dad. For important calls, I'm using an old phone of mine, and in my car, I'm using a map. Very 80s. For taking pictures, I carry around a Polaroid camera, and I've got a list of important phone numbers in my wallet for emergencies. Not using my phone has been such a fucking blessing. I can't remember the last time I felt this free. Because of my minimized screen time, I'm gifting myself with so much more time for creating art, reading, working, and discovering my spirituality. Everything happens without distraction or numbing. It's beautiful. I should really take this mask off.
무슨 먹고?
For the weekend for a modeling job, and now I'm stuck here. No trains or planes are leaving back to Hamburg because there's too much snow. So instead of just sitting around, I'm gonna do a little Q&A. A while back, I asked you guys on Instagram for some questions you'd like to discuss. Let's go. How do you edit your pictures and videos? I don't have the best software. Right now I'm using LumaFusion to edit my videos on YouTube. It's an app that you can download onto your iPad, iPhone, or whatever you want to edit with. And for my pictures, I like to use PixArt, Procreate, and Visco. Were you ever scared of wearing something because it wasn't what everyone else wore? Of course. And it's such a good feeling to finally break free from that and just do whatever the fuck you want to do. What do you first notice in a person? I'd honestly say the aura. Just the general vibe and energy someone's giving off. And I know it sounds cheesy, but it's so true. You can honestly meet the most attractive or interesting looking people, but if they don't give off a welcoming, warm aura, you'll notice. Oh, this one's really interesting. When was a point in life where you thought, I really need to change my way of thinking? I think when I first came across manifestation, I had so many negative spirals in my head that would just lead me to an unhappy life. I realized that I would just always expect the worst from a situation. I'd be driven by anxiety and fear, but fear is a liar. And when I realized that I was taking away a lot of freedom for myself by overthinking and being too scared, I tried to recognize those patterns and those negative spirals and act differently in moments of fear. Do you like living in Germany? At least in Hamburg, which is a beautiful, beautiful city, the most beautiful city in the world. I've never lived in other parts of Germany, so I can't really say anything about other cities, but Hamburg rocks. Did you ever struggle with mental health problems? Definitely. I'm not really sure if I want to make a video on that, because I feel like it's very good to talk about mental health, and it's good to share your story so other people don't feel alone in their experience. But I don't really know if I'm doing people a favor if I keep bringing it up or if I keep talking about it. How did you become so confident? For a very long time, I felt like I had to just fake it so I'd make it. This pandemic actually taught me a ton about myself, and I feel more confident than I've ever been. And it's not because I'm faking it. It's because I've listened to my insecurities and tried to find other ways to think about them. General tips for self-love, stress because of school, or anxiety. I find a lot of comfort in knowing that nothing really matters. That thought can be tricky and it can be kind of scary, but if you really let it sink in, and if you actually realize that all of that stress and anxiety is your head and it's all made up, it's something we just created, it kind of lets you get rid of all of that weight, because it's not real. What's your biggest fear? I love you, you're so pretty. I love you too. I think not being able to prove my ego wrong. Have you lost friends during your journey of becoming the person you are today? And I feel like it's a very important part of it. There's a great picture on that on my Pinterest. I'm gonna show you. What's the longest you've gone without smoking? 17 years, baby. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Do you have tattoos? Tattoos. How do I pronounce that? Do I have tattoos? Do you have? I do. Wait, I'm gonna show you in the mirror. This was my first one. I've got one back here. This one on my arm. And this beauty right here. My pet, Gustav. A weirdly long face. My second pet, who doesn't have a name yet. So if you've got any ideas, comment them down below. This one says myself. And then we got these cuties on my booty. I hope I didn't forget one, but I think that's all of them. And I think that's it for this diary. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. If you want to talk to me about anything, you can just DM me. I'm trying to respond to every message I get. Fingers crossed I'm gonna make it back to Hamburg. I hope you have the best day ever. Bye!